This is the TUTTIO electric bike. It's got that rugged modern look with fat 26-inch tires, a tough aluminum frame, and a big LCD display up front. This e-bike sits solidly on its stand, looking ready to take on pretty much anything. City streets, rough trails, sand, snow, you name it. The bold black design stands out, but still looks clean and practical. In my opinion, if you're thinking about getting your first powerful e-bike and want something that hits both performance and style, this one checks a lot of boxes. From my experience, getting into e-bikes can feel a bit overwhelming at first. There are a lot of options, technical features, and it's hard to know what's actually worth paying for when all you want is something fun, reliable, and strong enough for whatever road or trail you throw at it. That was where my research started, and to be fully honest, I was a little skeptical about bikes billed as dual motor or dirt bikes for adults. I kept thinking, do I really need dual motors? What does that even mean for me out there riding? So let me break it down in basic terms, especially for anyone new to this. Dual motor just means the bike has a motor built into each wheel. For this bike, that's one in the front and one in the back. What this does is give you a ton of power and traction, especially if you're riding in slippery or uneven conditions like loose gravel or snow. That's a big reason why people who do off-roading or hunting rides like this setup. The little red button up on the handlebars lets you choose if you want both motors running or just one, which is pretty awesome. Push it in, and you get the extra burst when you want to climb hills or accelerate fast, or just enjoy that feeling of full power. Speaking of power, this TUTTIO isn't messing around. On paper, it offers peak combined output of 5,000 watts and can hit top speeds around 40 to 46 miles per hour, which, I'll be real with you, is fast, much faster than most e-bikes allow. My first ride actually surprised me. I'd been riding regular bikes for years, but that electric boost when you take off is wild. The acceleration is punchy and there's so much torque that, if you hit the throttle too hard from a stop, the front wheel might even lift a little. It's kind of exciting, but you do have to respect the power, especially if you're newer to riding e-bikes. Another key feature here is the battery, the heart of any e-bike setup. The TUTTIO uses a 52-volt, 38-hour lithium-ion battery, which is pretty big. On a full charge, I regularly get 60 to 70 miles, and if I take it easy in pedal assist mode where you still pedal but get an electric boost, I can stretch that closer to 90 miles. That means if I want to ride far into the woods on a weekend or just use it to commute to work all week, I don't really have to worry about running out of juice. And charging the battery feels pretty simple. It's removable, so I usually just pop it out and plug it in inside the house, which takes around 6 to 8 hours to fully juice up again. Comfort is a big deal for me, and honestly, it's one of my favorite things about this bike. The full suspension, meaning both the front fork and the rear have shock absorbers, makes a massive difference. I'm not someone who seeks out huge jumps or crazy trails, but rolling over potholes and curbs in the city, or even riding off onto gravel or forest trails, just feels smooth. The seat is pretty solid. The adjustable handlebars help dial things in for taller riders. I'm about 6'2" for reference. And those big 26-inch by 4-inch fat tires keep everything stable and soak up road bumps. If you're wondering about hills, no issues at all. I've climbed steep grades that would normally have me out of breath on a regular bike, and the TUTTIO just cruises up, especially if both motors are on. The 7-speed mechanical gears let me dial in how much I'm working versus what the motors are doing. For example, if I want some exercise, I'll turn down the assist and use it basically as a regular bike. But if I'm feeling lazy, the pure electric mode is always ready with the twist grip throttle. Braking is equally important, especially with the kind of speed this bike has. TUTTIO uses 4-piston hydraulic disc brakes, which, in simple terms, means they have very strong stopping power and are much easier to control than the old wire brakes found on cheap bikes. The response is sharp, which actually makes me feel safer zipping around at higher speeds or down hills. A few practical notes from my experience that might help if you're considering one. The bike is heavy. The published weight is just under 90 pounds, and that is noticeable if you have to carry it upstairs or lift it into a car. For regular use, just moving it around the driveway or rolling it into a garage, it's totally fine, but I wouldn't want to be wrestling with it every day if I lived in a walk-up apartment. Assembly was easier than I expected. Most things were put together, though I did have to attach the handlebars, front wheel, seat, and pedals, which only took me about 30-40 minutes. All the tools you need are included. The lighting setup is a nice bonus. There's a very bright LED headlight for riding at night or in low visibility conditions. It's actually got a built-in horn, which is super handy when I'm riding in the city and need to alert someone quickly. The taillight is bright as well and works as a brake light. Whatever the conditions, a dark trail or busy street, I feel confident I can be seen. On the other hand, there are a few things I think people should know before picking this bike. Because it's so powerful, it technically isn't street legal in a lot of areas, at least not without registering it as a motorcycle depending on local rules. I mostly use mine off-road, on private land or trails, so it's not an issue, but you'll want to double-check your local regulations. Also, the suspension is great for comfort, but if you're planning really rough, technical off-roading, it can feel a little clunky and bottom out if you push it too hard. For general use, city, light trails, snow, sand, it's more than enough. When it comes to fit, I'm pretty tall, and this bike works for me, but I can tell that for folks much under 5'8", the size and seat height might be a stretch. The reach to the handlebars is long, and while it's advertised as fitting riders from 5'2" to 6'6", in reality, I think shorter riders might not be comfortable, especially if you plan to do a lot of pedaling and not just ride on throttle. The display up front is simple to use. It's got all the basics: a speedometer, battery readout, odometer, and you can toggle between riding modes. Adjusting pedal assist is easy. I usually keep it in a moderate mode for everyday rides, but when I want to go all out, I crank it up and really feel that dual motor pull. The system comes with 2 keys, one for the bike itself, and the other for locking and removing the battery. It's a small thing, but for someone like me who's worried about battery theft, it's reassuring. I'd recommend this for someone who wants a beast of an e-bike for commuting, outdoor adventures, or just cruising around having fun. It's perfect for bigger riders or anyone who wants to ride in the snow, sand, or off the beaten path. Maintenance is pretty straightforward. Keep the battery charged, check tire pressure and brakes once in a while, and treat it like you would any regular bike. If you're on the fence about e-bikes, I get it. There's a lot to consider. From my experience, the freedom, power, and fun you get with this bike makes it worth it. My wife and I have both taken turns riding it, and every time we come back grinning. Whether it's the smooth ride, the wild power, or just being able to explore further, it's changed how I think about cycling. In conclusion, the TUTTIO Electric for Adults Men stands out for its impressive power, long-lasting battery, and comfortable design. It feels like a true all-rounder, ready for all kinds of adventures or just an easy ride to work. There are a few things I wish were better, the bike's weight and the reach for shorter folks, but overall, I've been more than happy with this e-bike. If you're looking to dive into electric biking with something reliable, fast, and just plain fun, this is one of the top options out there. If you found this quick review helpful, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a comment below, especially if you have questions or want to share your experience. Thank you for watching.